Ultimately, there's only two basic intentions, either love, intention of love, or fear, intention of fear. Welcome to Satori Mindset Podcast. My name is Yuki Yoshii, and this is your time, your moment to reflect on yourself, your life, and to integrate your journey to feel aligned, and to ultimately make the awakened version of you a default mode. So let's begin. Okay, I want to talk about intention. Intention is one of the most powerful and important thing that we can practice and implement on a day-to-day basis, because ultimately there's only two basic intentions, either love, intention of love, or fear, intention of fear. So when you do something, when you decide something, when you begin something, you want to set an intention, which is the energy in which you enter to create a path, because the way in which you enter expand and set the tone and create a path of how you want the things to go. Yeah. So if you don't set intention, it becomes a mechanical, a transactional move. But when you set your intention, you are actually putting an energy into it and to create a vision and destination, a path, how you want the things to move forward. So I want to talk about intention, but I want to talk about something that many people are sort of confused, or maybe they're not understanding how this works at the subconscious level, and it's working against them. Yeah. Many people think the intention of love, but then they're operating from the intention of fear. Yeah. So for instance, let me give you just one specific example. Let's say if you try to help somebody, right? But if you're trying to help somebody because internally and subconsciously you want to be accepted by that somebody, then consciously you might be thinking that I want to give to this person. That's an intention of love, intention of expansion. But subconsciously, there is a resistance inside of you that you want to be acknowledged, you want to be accepted, you want to be included. So the underlying urge to want to be a part of, to be included, which is the fear-based intention, is driving that behavior. Does that make sense? And I want to just keep this simple, this conversation simple, because I cannot stress enough how many people or how much people actually misunderstand and not be able to see that underlying intention or where they're coming from. So, in order for us, because the intention of love, the expansion and the giving and the continuous unfoldment is what we want to create. And what we want to address is what makes people lead with the intention of fear subconsciously, right? Because if you can address what is leading subconsciously for people to set the intention of fear without them knowing, then you can only be in the intention of love. So let's talk about that, right? Often when we have this sort of insecurity inside of us, it comes from our past, experience that we didn't get acknowledged enough, or we didn't get included, or we wanted to belong, but we weren't allowed to, right? Whatever the past experience. So for many people, to be rejected, to be denied, to not get accepted is fearful. Yeah. So in order to not to experience that survival mode, they try to do something to somebody to be able to be included. But then, because that energy is working against you and contradictory, we want to release and let that go. So what we want to do is to begin identifying what is that part of us, right? What is that part of us that is frightening and then fearful, and begin filling that gap and the hole by ourselves. Instead of, because if that hole and the gap inside of us is not being filled and feel full, we will look for the outside to fill that space and the hole, what's missing, what's lacking. Does that make sense? If your inside is abundant and full and there's no lack, you're not going to seek that from the outside. So how much can we accept ourselves? How much can we acknowledge ourselves? How much can we create that sense of plenty, sense of abundance inside of us by ourselves first to work on and practice that? So our cup is full, then the only thing, the intention that we can lead our moment to moment is to give, to share, right? And then you don't get attached to receiving back because you have plenty. Does that make sense? You have plenty of love. You have plenty of self-respect. You have plenty of acceptance. You have plenty of acknowledgement to feel powerful about yourself. You do not need any validation or any acknowledgement, recognition from the outside. If somebody gives that to you, you appreciate it. But that's not going to be what you feel dependent on in order to do any action. Does that make sense? Now, when you start recognizing that part of us and when you start practicing feeling yourself by ourselves, that hole and the gap, you will only be operating from the intention of love because you have so much of it and you want to share that to the world. So practice intention of love by acknowledging what is the hole and the gap that we need to fill and begin filling it by ourselves. And that's going to serve you a long way, and that's going to impact you in every area in your lives. Thank you for listening to the podcast. A message I want you to take with you is this: you have a power to choose how you see yourself and the world at any given moment. So stay connected to that wisdom.